Welcome all. In this video I will explain the data type string, and we have seen a string before, and when we make a variable of data type string we can store a piece of text in this variable. And when we think about a piece of text, it's actually a series of characters. So we can make a string like this. So the data type is string and the variable name is s. And in C++, the data type string is the same as a vector of char. Yeah, so the data type string is the same as a vector of char, meaning that when I make a variable of data type string, I can use it as a vector of characters. So what we can do is the following. So we have a variable named s of data type string, and I can give the string a value, for example, hello. Yeah, so now the text hello is being stored into the variable s. And since the string is the same as a vector of char, we can say s.size. Yeah, and this function here gives me the number of characters in the string. So in this example that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so if I print the result of this function, I expect it to print 5. Which is the case as we see here. Yeah, so again, a string in C++ is the same as a vector of chars. So meaning that I can use all the functions that I can use with a vector the same on a variable of data type string. The next thing that we can do is add characters to a string by using pushback. Yeah, so what we can say is s dot pushback. Yeah, so we type the name of the string, then dot, and then pushback, rounded brackets, and between the rounded brackets we can put the character that we want to add to the string. So for example, the character exclamation mark. And also note that we always have to surround a character with single quotes. Yeah, so if I print now the string again, I expect it to print hello with an exclamation mark, as we see here. And also what we can do now here is to print the size again. And since I added a single character at this location here, I expect it to print it 6 here, because we started here with 5 characters. Here we added another character, making it 6. So therefore when I use the size function, I expect it here to print 6 now. Which is the case as we see here. So what we also can do is change a character in the string. And to understand how that works, I will go to the whiteboard. Because what we have in memory is the following. So we have a string here, s. And when we use this statement here, the characters h, e, l, l, and o is being stored into memory. And these are all in different memory locations, like this. Yeah, so on line 11, this will be in memory. And since we use pushback on line 15, it will add another piece of memory where we store the exclamation mark, like this. And now, if we want to have the first character of the string, we have to use the following syntax. So that is s, so the name of your string, then square brackets, and then if you want to have the first character, then you have to use index 0. Yeah, so between the square brackets we place a number, which we call index, and the index indicates which character of the string you want. Yeah, so if you want the first one, you have to use index 0. If you want the second character, you have to use the same notation, but now with index 1. Yeah, and the same for the third character, you have to use index 2, etc. So now, if I want to change the first character, I have to use this syntax here, so S0. Yeah, so with this syntax, I refer to the first character of the string, and then I can say is, for example, capital H. Yeah, so what happens now if I execute the statement on line 21? This small h is being overridden with capital H. So if we print S now once more, you will see hello is started with the capital H, as we see here. So what we also can do is iterate over the string, meaning that we iterate over each character. So, and therefore we can also use the for loop. So we can use the for loop here, and we have to use the following syntax to iterate over each character in the string. And for this example, I will print each character in the string individually. And therefore I have to use this statement here. So what happens here is when I reach the for loop, first the variable I is being initialized, meaning we create a variable I and the value 0 is being stored into I. Then this condition here is being checked, and in this case I is 0 because we assigned 0 here to I, and s.size is 6 because we have 6 characters in our string. Yeah, so 0 is smaller than 6, so the condition is true, and therefore it will enter the for loop. And here we print s with index I is 0. So what we print here is the first character of the string. Yeah, so again, to get here the first character, we have to use this notation here. So s, so the name of the string, square brackets, and then between the square brackets the index. And if you want to have the first character of the string, you have to use index 0. And that's the case here because I is 0. So after printing here the first character on the console, I++ here is being executed, meaning I is increased by 1. So it was 0 and therefore it will become 1. And then it jumps back to this condition. And since I is 1, s.size is still 6. And since 1 is smaller than 6, this condition is still true, meaning it enters the for loop again. So now we print s with index 1, meaning we print this character here. Yeah, so the second character of the string. And with this notation here, with this syntax here, we will go over each character of the string, meaning we will print each character individually. Yeah, so if I run this program, you see here each character being printed separately on the console. So that's it for this video. In this video we have seen that we can use a variable of data type string as a vector of characters.